the car companies in the United States that is in big trouble is Stellantis. Last year, they fired thousands and thousands of staff. They are now firing another 5,400 staff and idling plants, including their electric car plant, which is, to me, a major surprise. I mean, the new Dodge electric vehicle, I think, is one of the best looking electric cars ever made. I'm surprised by this news. I'm not surprised by Stellantis firing staff, though, because Stellantis has been mismanaged in a massive way and demand for their cars has plummeted. The entire world is reacting to Donald Trump's import tariffs introduced yesterday by Donald Trump himself, of course. Stellantis is, well, it's now saying, well, we're going to fire a whole lot of people, 5,400 people. Was this going to happen anyway? Would this have happened anyway without Donald Trump's tariffs? Well, I'll tell you what I think, and I want to know if you guys agree with me because it's very interesting. It's an interesting topic. Auto imports to the US are now subject to 25% tariff, and this is going to be actually bad for Stellantis, but even worse for Japanese car companies. And I'll tell you why that is in my video that's coming out tomorrow, how that will affect Subaru, Mazda, Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Honda. All of them will be, well, the Japanese automotive industry is about to be crushed and it's going to be really bad for them. But Stellantis is also facing similar pressures. They revealed they're laying off 900 US-based employees and 4,500 workers in Canada. From Monday, April the 7th, production at Stellantis' Windsor assembly plant in Ontario, Canada will be paused for 2 weeks. The facility currently builds the Chrysler Pacifica minivan, which, I mean, it used to be quite a good car, the Chrysler Pacifica. It's not anymore. It's not competitive at all anymore. It also makes the recently revealed Dodge Charger Daytona EV. Though lackluster demand for this muscle car means, well, not that many people are going to notice because Dodge have a fair bit of inventory. I actually think it's a really good vehicle. It's pretty heavy, but I wouldn't mind one. Dodge, send one over to me in America and I'll do some videos. Yeah, anyway. Also scheduled to take some unexpected time off starting next week is the automaker's plant in Mexico. The Jeep Compass and the Wagoneer SEV built there both will be subject to 25% tariffs. So what's going to happen? What is Stellantis going to do? Well, I don't think they know. I mean, who does know what they're going to do? Everyone's going, what the hell are we going to do now? Employees in Mexico will still be required to come to work as normal during this shutdown, said a Stellantis spokesperson. They told this to CNBC. The workers are like, well, what are we going to do? They're going to clean the floors, clean the toilets, dust the, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. What do you do when there's nothing to do? Sit on their phones all day, I'm guessing. The automaker's North American boss confirmed in an email to employees sent on Thursday night and sent by CNBC that the actions were directly linked to Trump's tariffs. We continue to assess the medium and long-term effects of these tariffs on our operations, but have also decided to take some immediate actions, including temporarily pausing production at our Canadian and Mexican assembly plants. These actions will impact employees at several of our US powertrain and stamping facilities that support those operations. Stellantis sales were already falling before the tariffs came into force. So Stellantis sales were already in free fall. Stellantis profits are already crashing as well. They're in big trouble as a car company. I've been saying this for years. People are like, no, you're wrong, Electric Viking. Look, they're making record profits. I said, yeah. That's all well and good. BlackBerry told us the same thing right before, not long before they went bankrupt, yeah? Stellantis sales, they fell by 12% in Q1, or the first quarter of this year, to 293,000 units. And considering sales fell last year massively, a further fall is devastating. Dodge was hit really hard though. Their sales fell by 49% to only 21,731. I mean, there's very few cars that Dodge even make now. Dodge as a brand, it's getting to that point where it may just eventually just cease to exist. And I love the Dodge brand. I don't know why, but I do. My dad's told me a lot of stories about when he was growing up. Him and his family, they had a Dodge. He said it was terrible, but he loved it. And it was the only car the family could afford. Very unreliable, but I've heard a lot of good stories from him about that, reminiscing about the old Dodge that they owned growing up here in Australia. So I hope Dodge don't disappear. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Guys, this is just such a cool muscle car. I mean, I think it's my favorite muscle car that I've seen in a long time. We now know, well, we think we know the power, performance, and actual architecture of the new Dodge Charger electric muscle car. This will be basically the world's first electric muscle car. It's maybe the best looking car I've ever seen. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but I mean, hell, have a look at this thing. And we also know it'll have 885 horsepower. That's a lot more horsepower than the current Hellcat. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking, the all-electric Dodge Charger. Apparently, the base version will have, well, a pretty anemic 402 horsepower, but the top spec motor version will have 885 horsepower, which is, yeah, it's a lot more horsepower than the current internal combustion engine version. Now, apparently, Dodge actually plan on using that same car, which has basically been developed to be an EV, but they've slightly changed their plans. They're saying now they're going to actually have an internal combustion version, which will not be a V8. It will have a twin turbocharged Hurricane inline 6. Now, I personally think a twin turbocharged Hurricane inline 6 version will just look really slow in comparison to the electric versions. It'll kind of prove to a lot of gas fans, petrol fans, just how much better EVs are. That's what I think will happen, but I don't know. There's apparently a lot of enthusiasts who are skeptical, a lot of Americans who say they don't want it. They're saying the new Dodge Charger, get lost, don't want it. It's not gas, it's not petrol. We don't care, we don't want to see it. But I think there's quite a few people saying the opposite, saying, you know what, this thing could be amazing. So we have new information about the details. When Dodge unveiled the Daytona SRT concept last year, they also said they believed the reason they were going EV was because they said this, quote, "We've reached the limits of internal combustion engine performance." In essence, they said the future is electric, not only because of its advantages in terms of, obviously no emissions, but also because it's simply more powerful, much faster. So some changes have been made to the EV versions based on recent discussions that the Drive had with an unnamed source. They claim that there is leaked information regarding the new vehicle. The source claims that there will be 3 key powertrain versions of the Charger on offer. The first 2 of these will use a 400-volt architecture. The entry-level model will be rear-wheel drive with a single electric motor that has 402 horsepower, which is exactly 300 kilowatt. That's, well, a little bit less than what Dodge said it would have, which was 455 horsepower or 340 kilowatt, but that's the cheapest version. That's the least powerful version.